All right, well, good morning, everybody. For those of you that I haven't met, by way of an introduction, my name's Ollie. I'm the founder at Loop. And as you know, Loop is the CRM provider at EXP in the UK, and we also do your agent microsite. So we've been proud to partner with EXP for the best part of 5 years now, and we're part of that growth journey. It's a really exciting time. I get a lot of satisfaction, if you like, from seeing so many familiar faces in the room. And it speaks to the longevity of high performance here at EXP. And then, of course, we've got new faces, people that are coming in with fresh energy, new motivation, excellent ideas. And so this room is full of growth-minded, ambitious agents, and we love to be a part of that. Now, Adam was talking about some stats yesterday. I thought I'd throw some stuff up on the screen just to kick us off. So the first one is, when we look at Loop as a business, you guys have grown and we've grown with you. So we're now 25 people strong. We've got just over 3,000 property people logging into Loop every single day, and they rely on us to provide all of the technical services that sit in their business. There's about 925 companies across the UK that use Loop. EXP is obviously a big part of that. And I guess it's an acknowledgement for us that what we're doing is kind of at the sharp end, and we have a responsibility not just to innovate, but to make sure that the system is up and available 24/7. Some more stats for you then. 1 million properties in the platform, 6 million diary events. That's quite a few viewings if you add them all up. And we've sent 28 million emails in the last 12 months. So this thing is alive, and we've got some very clever people back at base making sure that this thing carries on working as it should. Some big numbers. I was aware that we've got some American friends in the room, and they like to talk in the billions. So here we go. If you add up all the property value of stuff that's been on the market at some point from the Loop database, you're knocking on the door of £370 billion. Just to put that in context, although that's a big number, if you were Apple, you could buy that 3 times over and still have half your money left. So that's a big number. For sale, £10 billion worth of properties that have actually gone on the market, of which 61 billion has completed. So we don't see any of that really, but it's just quite an interesting stat. It's about 14% of the UK property market, and we are growing every week. Let's turn our attention then, if we can, to stuff that you think as agents you can take home today and use in your business really from tomorrow onwards. These are features that already exist in Loop. Some of you may be using them, some of you may be unaware that they are there in the first place. So the first one is the automated viewing feedback. With this feature enabled, what Loop will do is after the viewing, it will email your buyer asking them to fill in a short form where you can get their feedback. You can customize the questions, and there's an auto reminder if they don't put the feedback in the first point. So that feedback comes back into Loop. You then have the opportunity to, if you like, look at that feedback before you pass it on to the vendor. What we find there is that more people are honest, and it cuts down the number of phone calls that you have to make. So if you're a high volume agent, this is going to bring time back into your week. The second one is text message reminders and confirmations. This has a dramatic reduction in no-shows and cancellations. So with this feature enabled, what it will do is it will confirm the viewing or val back to the client when you book it, and it will also send a reminder just 1 hour before the appointment, and replies come back into Loop. So that's a great way of securing the appointment, giving the client the reassurance that the appointment has been booked, and then it's a nudge 1 hour before to actually show up. The third one then, this is kind of called the portal autoresponder. So what this does is it works while you sleep. So Rightmove, Zoopla on the market and website inquiries that come into you already get captured by Loop. But with this feature enabled, it will send an autoresponder back at the time of inquiry, and it will invite the buyer to fill in a little bit more information about who they are and what they're looking for. This helps you determine proceedability, what their price is, and it also flags up in Loop as a hot inquiry, and those are the people that you probably want to ring first thing in the morning. They're different, aren't they, in mindset and proceedability to those that just send in a random inquiry. So it helps you look at your time and how you purpose that during the day. Not many people know about this one, but this is a new lobby widget that we've introduced recently called Completion Anniversaries. So this just sits there in the background and it picks up all of the exchanges and completions you've done, and it reminds you a year, 2, 3 years into the future when those people have moved, and it's a chance to then pick up the phone and see where they are, whether they're looking to move on, and there's valuation opportunities in that. Just a quick show of hands, who's actually got that on in Loop? You've probably discovered it, right? So I'm going to talk in a minute about how we can do a better job for you in communicating some of these updates, because I think it's fair to say when we were with the Agent Advisory Council on Tuesday, not many people know about the updates that are coming. And I think we've got some plans and some ideas to improve that. And I'll talk about that at the end. Pocket Edition, hopefully all of you have got Pocket installed on the phone. Hopefully this year you've seen a huge step forward in what Pocket can do and does do for you. And we're not stopping there. We think that the Pocket, the companion app to Loop, is a strategic main thrust for us as we go into the second part of the year. There's a lot that you guys want to do on the road, and in 2025 you should be able to do a lot more. What we've done over the last 6 months really is put functionality in which we would call baseline functionality, the ability to book appointments, look at buyers, get feedback, look at properties, get information out of the app. And there's a lot more to come, which I'll talk about again at the end. But Pocket Edition is a great companion app, and you can use it in your teams as well as individuals. Here's one that came up on Tuesday. Not many people know about this, but quick show of hands, who's using Property Hub with their clients? Yeah, single digits, right. So Property Hub is a product that we've branded, which allows you to white label it as your own. And it's effectively a portal that your clients can access. So if you're a seller, you can be invited into Property Hub by you, and that shares information with the seller that you determine. So you can decide to share everything: viewing feedback, offers that have come in, sales progression notes if you wish. But it's fully customizable. So you can determine whether you want that on for everybody, on by an opt-in, and then within that, you might have 2 different sellers, one that wants the sales progression, one that doesn't. So this is a way, when you're at a valuation, to offer that as a value-add service. It's unlikely that your local competitors will be offering something as comprehensive as Property Hub. So if that's something you're not aware of, there are loopers in the room. We're around all day. Come and see us. It's a very easy thing to turn on. And then it's really about educating your sellers how they're going to use it and what that relationship looks like with Property Hub. But it's a winner. We've got clients using that, and they're winning valuations off the back of it. So come and see us about that. And then finally, the referral network. This is wild. When we put it in a year and a half ago, we exposed £1 million worth of commissionable income that was in the network. And what we mean by that is it's buyers that you register that have properties to sell outside of your area. And what you have with the referral network baked into Loop, exclusive to EXP, is the ability to refer that buyer to your colleague out of area who can then go and value the house, get it on the market, sell it, and you both earn a fee. Again, a quick show of hands, who's using the referral network? Quite a few of you. Yeah, that's great. And it's one of those things, right? The more you use it, the better it becomes. And we've got a little update coming to the referral network that I think you're going to like. But if you're not on it, again, come and see us, and you will start to get referrals coming through. This is one you're going to like. So we're now into the new feature stuff, and I'm conscious of time because they've only given me sort of 15 minutes. So with the market data that we provide in Loop, what we're able to do now is do some clever stuff. And what we're looking at here is the appraisal opportunities widget that's coming in a couple of weeks. So what we do then is we take all of your buyers and we look at all of their addresses and we match that to properties that are on the market. So what we can see is that if we take the top guy, Jonathan Smithfield, so he lives at 2 Averley Road. He's a buyer. He's somebody that you've registered. So you've got his name, his number, his email address. And you're servicing him as a buyer, but he's gone off and put a property that he needs to sell on the market with another agent. And we can see that today there was a price reduction on that property. Now, crucially, you've got an existing relationship with Jonathan, so you can pick up the phone and say to him, look, I noticed you had a price reduction today. Let me help you with the sale of your property, or however it is you guys position it. And that's running 24/7 through all the buyers. So it's looking at opportunities that are already in your database, and it's allowing you to get in front of more people. So that's coming in a couple of weeks. And that's really the start of our next wave of market data, where I'm going to use this phrase AI in a minute. But we're stepping into that, and we think that's a bit of a game changer. Okay, so here's one that's going to leverage AI. We're calling it Pulse. And what happens with the Pulse service enabled is every month you get a Pulse pack delivered to you by email. And in that Pulse pack is data, narrative, and infographics that relate to the area that you're interested in. So if I'm operating in WR12, I will get every month an email containing really pertinent information about WR12. So it will be the sold prices, it will be number of transactions, it will be average price per square foot. And then what we use in the background is a large language model to interpret that data and provide you with search engine friendly, ChatGPT friendly blog content. Short form for your socials, long form for your website. And guess what? Because we look after the website, you're only one click away from auto-publishing all of that up into the ether. So you don't have to do any research, you don't have to rewrite it, it's going to learn tone of voice, it knows the towns and the areas that you're in, and it's backed by crystallized land registry data, so it's an authentic source of truth. And that's great for SEO. So we're really excited about what Pulse is going to be. We're trialing it with a couple of people. I believe there's a couple of you in the room today that are on it. And we're going to be rolling this out in the summer. So if that's something you're interested in, I don't see why you wouldn't be. Come and see us and we can at least get your expression of interest and go from there. But we're working on that right now. And some of the stuff that AI is doing for us in the background is extraordinary, not just in the product, but in our own business. So I'm super interested in this topic right now. Okay. So here's something that I think is quite unique to the small business owner, or dare I say it, the self-employed network. We've got 700 individual business owners when we look at EXP. And you're asked to do extraordinary things, which is work long hours, spin loads of plates. And some of you have got assistants and some of you have got teams, and that helps leaning into those resources when you get busy. But for a lot of people, time is the biggest commodity. And so we've had some deep thought at Loop about how can we put technology in the palm of your hand, in pocket, that allows you to just clear out more hours and focus on building better relationships with your clients. And we're calling this Agent Assist. So Agent Assist is effectively an AI-powered assistant that sits in pocket. It's got access to your diary, it's got access to your buyers, your sellers, phone numbers, and it's able to sit there and serve based on what you want it to do. So one of the scenarios is you're on your phone in the car, hands-free of course, but you invoke the Agent Assist and you ask it to book an appointment or an appraisal with Mrs. Jones on Tuesday at 2:30 next week. Now, if you do that manually, you're filling in a form, aren't you? Right? And that form in Loop, in any system, is a little bit cumbersome. What AI allows us to do is interpret the voice and move that into a form format and then save it into the diary. And it's clever. What it will do is it will ask you for information that it doesn't quite have. So it's a convenience way of getting stuff into the diary. You can pull up a phone number. You can ask it what you're doing later on today. There's lots of use cases, we call them use cases, where with that technology embedded in Loop, we're going to give you back a huge amount of hours in the week. And it's also going to be almost like a sales assistant. It's going to spot opportunities for you. And we saw that earlier with the appointments, beg your pardon, on the lobby widget. So we're looking at this. It's not built, it's not ready, but we've got a labs team on it. And we think it's going to be Q4 at the end of the year. And we'll start phasing that in October. So again, if you're interested in seeing what the early version looks like, where it's going to make mistakes and do some daft things, then again, come and see us and we'll sign you up to that. So that, with 40 seconds to go, is an update from Loop. Rest assured, guys, we are working incredibly hard to bring continued innovation onto the platform. Hopefully you've seen regular updates from us. And let me finish with this. The way we get out of bed in the morning is we're passionate about fueling your passion. And where that comes from for us is feedback. We need to know what Loop needs to do for you because we've got some clever people back at base. If we know about it, we can build it, we can solve the problem. But we are just techies, right? We need your help. So keep the conversation going. We've got a great relationship with all of you. And look forward to seeing what the growth looks like as we head up into the second part of the year. That's me.